Hello and welcome to Alan. I'm your host Alan Tall, and today we will be discussing the topic of Alice in Wonderland syndrome. To give us facts about this extraordinary disease, we have special guest Dr. Mad Hatter. Welcome to the show, Dr. Hatter.
Hello, and Alan, it's actually pronounced Dr. Mad Hatter.
I didn't know that. My apologies. Okay, well, can you start us off with what is Alice in Wonderland syndrome?
Well, imagine looking into a mirror and seeing a distorted image and where your arms and legs seem to shrink right before your eyes. People with Alice in Wonderland syndrome experience this every day. Alice in Wonderland syndrome is not a malfunctioning of a person's eyes or vision. It is a neurological ailment that causes a disruption of the messages sent to the brain from the eyes, resulting in a distortion of one's visual perception.
Huh?
In other words, it causes people to see hallucinations.
Oh. So people actually think that they are growing or shrinking?
People don't just see themselves changing in size, they can also see other people, animals, or objects growing or shrinking. They can also feel that their hearing or even sense of touch change, like what happens to the Alice at the beginning of this story. Some people with epilepsy, who also have Alice in Wonderland syndrome, can feel like they are falling down a hole. An example of the part where they grow larger or smaller, or just really any hallucination, is right here. Look at this. See? So, we see it as this, if you do not have Alice in Wonderland syndrome. So, pretend they were having a hallucination at the moment. They could see it larger like this, or just turn it the other way around where this was what we would see, and they would see it smaller.
Very interesting. Now, is this a common genetic disease?
Well, it is kind of uncommon and common. It can be relatively common in children, but most people do not get it. And we suggest that it is a common occurrence with some people when they are falling asleep. Even though it is mostly found in children, adults are able to get Alice in Wonderland syndrome also. Some people have severe chronic, long-lasting cases. However, many people can experience it short-term. Have you ever gone to bed not feeling so well, and just as you started to fall asleep, had the sensation that you were growing larger or smaller, or taller or shorter, or falling down a hole or flying up in the sky? If so, you may have experienced a mild case of Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Huh. Wow, that's really great information, Dr. Hatter. We're going to have to take a minute for a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back to The Alan Show.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, baby cakes. What's wrong?
I'm the only person in school who doesn't have a box-head chihuahua. Billy and Jimmy have one.
Hi, is this 1-800-BOXHEAD-CHIHUAHUA?
Mom, there's something at the door. Oh my gosh! Look at this! It's a box-head chihuahua package! Thanks, Mom!
So, what causes Alice in Wonderland syndrome?
It can be caused by temporal lobe epilepsy, brain tumors, using psychoactive drugs, and Epstein-Barr viral infection.
Interesting. So, is there any way to treat it?
Well, there is no proven treatments yet, but we have found treatment programs that bring relief. In the treatment program, people are given migraine prophylaxis, anticonvulsants, antidepressants, calcium channel blockers, and beta blockers. People with chronic cases of Alice in Wonderland syndrome are quite untreatable and must wear out eventually. A person suffering from the disorder may have hallucinations several times during the day. As the manifestations may take some time to subside, justly the individual may get terrified, anxious, and panic-stricken. These manifestations you do not need to worry about trying to treat. They go away over time too.
Very interesting. So I just have one last question. Why is this genetic disease called Alice in Wonderland syndrome?
Actually, that is a very good question. A psychiatrist named Don Todd named the syndrome after Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. As the main character, Alice would shrink and grow throughout the story. We are not sure of it, but we are pretty sure Lewis Carroll, the author, may have suffered from Alice in Wonderland syndrome, as she did suffer from severe migraine headaches.
Very interesting. Well, thank you very, very much for coming to our show, Dr. Hatter.
I had a pleasure of coming to your show, and again, it's pronounced Hator.
My apologies again.